damn it, Jim. I'm a scientist, not a firefighter. Well, this is a really special Science in the City because we have come to the Toronto Fire Academy. We have enlisted some of the best and brightest recruits from the Toronto Fire Services, right? Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk about the chemistry of fire, and we're going to start with a highly exothermic reaction that you guys would call a Class D fire. Now, Kathy, what is a Class D fire?
Well, Big Al, a Class D fire is where we have burning metals.
Okay.
And burning metals burn really, really hot and really, really bright. And usually water isn't enough to put them out.
What could happen if you put water on the metal?
You could have explosions.
You want to see a Class D fire?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go make a Class D fire using something called thermite. And thermite is a mix of iron oxide and aluminum. It's just powder in there. And when you add enough heat to it, you start a spontaneous chemical reaction where the oxygen goes from the iron to the aluminum, and it does that at about 2,500 degrees Celsius. Okay, well, safety first. I'm going to put on the old helmet, the bucket. Time to fire up the thermite, time to get this Class D fire going. To do that, I'm going to start with another chemical reaction that's exothermic. I'm going to make some fire using a little bit of potassium permanganate, another mystery ingredient. And if I add a little bit of that in here, I'll just sprinkle a little bit in there. Here we go. Let's see what we can do. That's the potassium permanganate going, and that's going to provide the heat to start the thermite. We took ferric oxide, iron oxide, and pure aluminum, and by moving the oxygen to the aluminum, we create aluminum oxide and pure iron. And the cool thing about fires like that, where's the oxygen coming from?
Itself.
That's right, the chemical reaction itself is providing the oxygen. That's one of the things that makes it really tough to put out. But we can really crank it up a notch. We can melt stuff with that. Now, got anything around here we can melt?
How about a car?
Where do you want the door, Big Al?
Okay, we've got ourselves a nice piece of steel here to do a little thermite test with. Let's get right to it. Now, this thermite is supposed to burn at around 2,500 degrees Celsius. That's a heck of a reaction. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's go. Fire in the hole. There we go. It's going through. So that was our exothermic thermite reaction, 2,500 degrees Celsius, and if we look closely, what happened?
Burned a hole right through the door.
Now, melting metal on old car doors is kind of fun, but there's real-world applications for using thermite to melt metal, and we can actually use it, and they do use it, to weld rails together. So I've got some rails from the good people at CP Rail, and I have built my own Science in the City rail welding kit. Okay, so time to make a little bit of Class D fire here, weld some rails together. Fire's down, I've got about 5 seconds to step back after I pour this in. Okay, step back, guys. You're gonna start to see a little bit of sparking, and that's the potassium permanganate going off first. There we go, that's the thermite. Now that's welding. Okay, let's have a look, see what we did. Okay, let's just move our welding machine back a smidge. Oh, look at that. Okay, we've got a nice little weld there on the bottom. Might not be ready for the 823 Express. We did a little bit of welding here. Took some powder, took some ferric oxide, aluminum powder, mixed them together, got them hot, so the oxygen went from the iron to the aluminum. That happened at 2,500 degrees Celsius. And a metal fire like that, what do the firefighters call a metal fire like that?
Class D fire.
It's Class D fire. If you're a chemist, it's an exothermic reaction. Either way, it's hot. Well, guys, it's time to wrap up our little bit on thermite here. We brought in the Science and the City table. This thing has gone across Canada for the past 4 years doing Science in the City. You know what? I deserve a new table. You guys think I need a new table? Yeah, this thing's pretty beat up. So we're gonna, in the interest of science, we're gonna see if it can withstand thermite. Let's get this party started. There we go.
Okay, well, party's over.
But the party's just getting started. Yeah.